right on time. Great. We're starting exactly at 20 past. I'm very happy about that. So, hello, freedom lovers. Hello, Dweb lovers. I'm going to talk a little bit about freedom, the browser for the decentralized web. So, decentralization is great, but we can build all the tech we want. If we don't have user participation, either voluntary or involuntary, it's not going to work. It's not going to be decentralized. So if users don't run their own nodes, don't verify locally, there's not going to be any decentralization soon. And yeah, we see that with the current state of things. We have decentralized protocols that are running through centralized gateways. So the gateway goes down, the RPC server goes down, or let's say in the case of the Dweb, some Dweb gateway goes down. Yeah, we don't have a decentralized web, and it doesn't need to be that way. And yeah, by using decentralized services, we reintroduce the control and the trust that we wanted to give up with the Dweb, and that actually in the underlying layers already works. So we just kind of hand it back to Amazon, to Cloudflare that runs like decentralized infrastructure behind gateways. We don't want that. And when I saw this state, after looking back at it after a few years, I was like, okay, this is crazy, this is strange, why do we do this? And so we need to make users network participants. Currently, they are not. They are essentially trusting the ways that are given to them. This is like average users, right? If we have Dweb interested users, they might tinker around a little bit with things, but in daily use, they will use Brave, Chrome, Firefox, and therefore very centralized infrastructure. And again, it doesn't have to be that way. So browsers defining the protocol usage is sort of, again, shifting the power and making the browsers very, very powerful. We see Google and other centralized companies using this power and kind of shoving protocols and things down people's throats. And again, there needs to be change. So how about a crazy idea? Make the browser a node and include a node to the peer-to-peer networks directly into the browser. So very simple, all the control, all the verification, all the sort of reliance, censorship resistance, and also sort of fault tolerance. If one gateway goes down, it doesn't matter. We have many nodes to take data from. So we just put that all in the browser, and that's how freedom was born. Simple idea, kind of a proof of concept first. It does exactly that. It takes swarm nodes, like a peer-to-peer file network, and IPFS, same thing. It's kind of protocol neutral in that sense, and puts it into the browser itself, runs local nodes that connect directly to peers out there. So names are also resolved locally, partially, mostly. So that's one of the bottlenecks, actually, that ENS heavily relies on smart contract verification, and that can't really be done sensibly without running a full node locally yet, or even on a mobile phone, it's probably impossible. So that's really an area to work on, but the actual content and data delivery is already very, very decentralized within Freedom. So if you want to connect your beautiful ETH name, or if you want to publish anything on an ETH domain, that is a website. You go to ENS, you set the content hash, and this selects the protocol. The content hash has a protocol switch, Swarm or IPFS or anything else that comes in the future, and it handles that quite gracefully, and Freedom knows exactly how to read that and then kind of connect to the correct node and forward the content. So yeah, the content is fully fetched peer-to-peer. So it's kind of a dream, and it's a beautiful experience, and you will see it in a second, to just type in a IPFS content ID or a swarm hash into the URL bar, and boom, seconds later, the website loads from all the peers that you're connected to. So yeah, let's get to the demo. And this is Freedom. Beautiful. Let me put it full screen. And as I said, so we can just start with vitalik.eth. So we just type the ETH domain in here as any normal domain, and it's unavailable because we are not connected to the networks yet. So it's a normal browser, looks like a normal browser. It's kind of modeled after Chrome. So we start connecting to IPFS and then to Swarm. And you can see the nodes kind of counting up here. IPFS is kind of leading that race at the moment, but Swarm is getting there. So let's get back to Swarm in a second. Once it has a first node, then it kind of propagates further and kind of gets other nodes and information. I hope. It usually does that. Come on, Swarm, you can do it. But yeah, let's continue with... Swarm really doesn't do it. Interesting. So we can try Vitalik again. And yeah, there we go. We have Vitalik's website. And that's essentially already what the browser is about. And Swarm is still not there. Interesting. Demo effect. Right. Florian, any ideas? Switch back to light mode. Ultralight. Okay, let's try that. Maybe it does come. It does not come. In the settings. Okay. And then we relaunch the node. So this is essentially controls the node in the background. What we did is like we bundled the existing node implementations and we're shipping it with the browser. So and then reconnecting, and now Swarm. Nice. It worked all the time, of course, as it always does in the demos. And oh yes, we got the first beer. So yeah, essentially what we can do now is we can also switch to Swarm sites. So we have, of course, this beautiful website, Meinhard.eth, which is resolving to a Swarm hash, and it is essentially a 3D game that runs in the browser, and it's served on Swarm. And you can see here on this globe roughly what the Swarm network looks like. You have like big peaks in a data center in Germany and then one in Finland, I think. And then you have like the nodes everywhere, and that's kind of where the data is loaded from. So that's pretty cool. And I think the publishing won't work now, Florian, right?
Yes, it will work. Yeah.
Well, we'll try. So that's all good, but we also want to write to the network. So far, we have only been reading. So, and then from writing to the network, we switch on the wallet integration also to kind of give identity to us. So we have essentially like a private public key pair in the browser that behaves very similar to what maybe MetaMask would do, but this is a first-class citizen in the browser, and it comes as a sidebar, and from there we can kind of connect to websites, authenticate with websites, and also upload content. So if we go to Freedom, and the publish website, so here you can see that we can publish a text, for example. Let's say, hello. I can do it now?
Yeah. It was said that you had identity disabled.
So I can publish now?
If you turn on the light mode, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Florian did this integration, so thank you very much, as you can tell. Okay. So we can publish text, hello ETH, and what it does now, it Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the light is not working here. It was working down in the hacker's den just 5 minutes ago. Have you tried turning it on and over again? Anyway, so you get the gist. We can publish things from here, and we give it a little bit more time. And the idea is that you are not just a reading node of a network, but you can directly participate using the same software. You can dump your files, you can dump text, you can dump whole websites, and it will then be available within seconds as a Swarm hash or IPFS hash, at which you then can send to anyone in the world. We're not connecting again. I think it's... no, we're light mode. So the same text again, we can just publish just to show you that. Hello, Florian. And we just publish that. So you see how fast that is. So first, of course, it publishes to the local node, which then propagates to the network. And when we open that in a new tab, so we have a BZZ hash here, which we then can just send to anyone, and it will easily just kind of it's censorship resistant, essentially. It's censorship resistant information. So there used to be this art project. People don't want you to read this project. So this is exactly that. You can just, will sort of live as long as this part of the storage lives and will be accessible. And what we also can do is now we can link this to an ETH domain. And for that, you go to your ETH or ENS domain service, and you can just replace in the records for that domain the BZZ hash. We just paste it here. We say save, and it's inverted. Yeah, it does. It needs this, and then we can save it. It takes a while. Open wallet. Good old MetaMask. So ENS doesn't fully work in Freedom yet. It should work. I mean, this is something on the ENS website's site, so that's why I'm using the ETH limo site. They have a decentralized website which doesn't really function yet. Translation, this was transmitted, exactly. So we see this host name here now. If we paste this then back into Freedom browser, then we get the exact same thing. So it's now connected to an ENS domain, and this is all in real time. We can send this ENS domain to someone, and it fully works in a decentralized way. So putting this all together, we can then also go to a website that is, there we go. So this is a decentralized Reddit, and when I say decentralized, it's fully decentralized. So like none of this is using any centralized elements. You can go here and post content. Let's say to this board. Let's go to the random board. We say submit a new link. Hello Khan, and then we just say, oh, we can just take a text. This is amazing. And just post this, and what it does then is a whole complex unlocked with Touch ID. So we have Touch ID wallet in this as well, and then it's sending it. What happens now is like a series of updating of static files on the Swarm network, which then is being put together by a JavaScript application into a Reddit-like interface. So it works without database. It's a trick or like a very sort of sophisticated chain and tree of JavaScript files or JSON files, which then kind of replicates sort of the Reddit experience. And we'll give this a moment. Going back to the here we go. Going back to this, so that's what we saw. And Freedom obviously is open, so you can build it, you can run it, you can download the source, you can contribute to the source, and more importantly, so it's a chicken and egg problem. So if we don't have many ETH websites or not many decentralized websites, we don't really have a use for a browser. But if we don't have a browser, we don't really have a use for these websites either. So there are really just a handful of working decentralized Dweb websites there. And when I researched this whole thing, when I went down into the Dweb rabbit hole like about half a year ago, I thought, okay, there must be like a browser, a software or something. It did not exist. That's why Freedom came into existence. I'm very happy if there are other browsers coming following the same example. This is really like a, let's say, Marc Andreessen Mosaic 1993 moment where like a new internet or new web is born. So really feel free to contribute, convince other people. If you know anyone at ens.eth to fix their website to work in a decentralized browser, that would be amazing. So that's the kind of, we need to get the word out that this now exists, it's possible. And in the West, we don't really have so much need for that, for sort of, I mean, more and more actually, for censorship-resistant content. But there is places, war zones, and so on and so forth, that are really, really like relying on decentralized infrastructure. So that's where the cypherpunk ethos comes in. These people really need safe ways to publish and read content. So what's next? You saw already a preview of the write part and the identity part. And obviously, all this is not much use if it's not also available on mobile. So we will work on mobile implementations. The Freedom part, the browser sort of eye candy around it is not so much the issue. They're really the Node implementations, the light implementations that run on mobile. That's really what's lagging behind, because we are currently not writing these. But there is early implementations of Swarm and potentially also of IPFS that do run in a light mode on mobile. And there, usually the issue is that apps are being closed and processes are being shut down if you leave the app. But we can work around those. And I think once we have that mobile, it's going to be a super interesting use case. Also, local ENS and fully decentralized ENS, because we are relying on RPC at this moment. And the other day, RPC for Cloudflare was down and kind of it killed a whole lot of Dweb, or not Dweb, decentralized Web3 applications. This doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be. So yeah, Freedom Baby, that's our domain. That is the gateway into the decentralized world. From then on, you can use freedombrowser.eth as your daily news source. And yeah, join the Telegram community, Freedom Browser, and that's pretty much it. If there's some questions or remarks, happy to take 5 minutes of questions. Do we have a microphone? Or maybe just, yeah, shout it out. I can repeat the question if you, please.
Yeah, so Brave used to also support IPFS local node.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it removed this feature in 2024 and saying that there's very few usage.
Less than 0.1%, they said.
Yeah, that's from their announcement.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
how do you address this issue? Like, I think, because this is probably really common.
Yeah. And short answer is we don't need to. So this is open source. There's no real business model at this point. It's not a company like a commercial project, which Brave very much is. So they have to look at kind of what gives them most bang for the buck. Here, it's not the case. And yeah, it doesn't die with less usage. You see so many tiny like tools, open source tools out there that just survive. We don't run the infrastructure. We don't run we're not running hardly anything. We're just supplying the software to access the existing decentralized networks. So in that case, we are resilient to this sort of commercial attacks. Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
Thanks for the presentation. Nice work, actually.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you cannot work with ENS locally because you cannot run a node. It's not true. You could use a stateless client, for instance. Did you think about this, using stateless client to really verify everything in your application?
So Helios, I believe, is also an implementation of that. Is that what you mean?
Helios is like that. Colibri, for instance, is a stateless client.
Yeah. So we looked into that. It was kind of outside the scope for this because the trade-off of like using RPC for now for this phase was good enough. We are exploring this, and we are exploring other ways. And there's also like decentralized or like a federated network of RPC that's already a step forward into like federalized land and not completely decentralized land. So yeah, the answer is yes. We would kind of definitely look into that. We have been focusing on other things, UI and the writing part of things, which was most important. So the team is quite small. It's essentially Florian over there and me at the moment. So and it's really a passion project, which we believe has, yeah, as I said, great potential to really open up a completely new experience for the web. Yeah, next question.
Do you have any security options or feature in order to prevent a user to access a bad actor decentralized website where a bad guy could try to make you download the malware or something?
So filtering always has like obviously two ways at least, right? So if a filtering is in place, it can be used for censorship very, very easily. And someone can just say, okay, you have a filter in place, just add this anti-whatever government website there. So the short answer is not yet, not at this point. We want to harden, and there's a lot of like the security model is at the moment similar to other sort of browser wallets where it kind of asks you for permissions, and it's a field of work. So we want to make it as safe as possible, and we want to have as little filtering as possible as well. Maybe some sort of a malware with clear malware filter, that would be one thing, but it's a slippery slope into sort of censorship land. So that's why it's also not the main priority of what we do now. I can imagine that maybe at some point legal pressure would come. We will see about that. Saving users, yes, but yeah, it comes at a price as well. So do we have time for one more question? I think so. One question over there.
Last question.
Hi, does Swarm being built on Gnosis instead of Ethereum mainnet add any friction? Because I mean, you kind of need like 2 RPC or 2 nodes to be running for that to work.
so that right there is the only friction, and it's not really being built on Gnosis infrastructure. It's sort of patched onto it, or there's sort of one payment gateway, or just this sort of monetary part. The Swarm network is completely separate. It runs by itself. It just needs to be kind of topped up with so-called postage stamps to kind of supply storage. So that's really the only link there. And there are, as I understand, also ideas about integrating other chains and other currency models. But the friction point is really just that, the one RPC, extra RPC connection, which we will have anyway by having multi-chain support, which we have already now. So like Gnosis and Ethereum, other chains now that we're currently supporting, but everything EVM compatible is also supported. But in the future, there could be other ones as well. So it's not really an issue like in the practical sense, and Swarm is only one of the networks that we support. There's also actually a Radical support already as an experimental feature, Radical being a decentralized Git technology. That's already supported as well. Similar way, so we have a Radical client and Radical node, light node in there. So we treat these as plugins. Right, so we plug in a new chain, a new network, and then it kind of works for us. So friction is minimal.
Thanks for the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.